Authority and credibility is but an illusion of perception. Which I just made up right then, because screw all that, I'm just going to be talking about facts and logic here. What facts and logic am I talking about? I want to talk about the very concept of quality. We can actually find universal standards that exist irrespective of anyone's opinions on the matter. And this is where we come to a wonderful word called objectivity. When a fact is an objective truth, it is a truth irrespective of anyone else's opinions on the matter. There is this interesting debate that exists in the world of the objective versus the subjective, and honestly I feel a lot of people misunderstand this argument. The additional thing that many people misunderstand about the very concept of subjectivity is that subjective views are actually the objective standards we are subjectively choosing to judge something by, which actually in addition means that they're still actually objective. Even if the standard that we are choosing to judge something by is our own personal tastes, well, our own personal tastes are actually an objective framework that we can define specifically in a specific list that we can then judge something by in a very objective framework. So even the subjective preferences that you choose to apply to something to determine if you like it or not, or if it is good or not, are still objective standards that you are then judging something to determine if it's good or if you like it. How can we determine if something achieves the standard of being entertaining? Well, going back to my sword analogy, people have very subjective and even arbitrary tastes to which they will apply to things to determine if they like it or indeed if they find something entertaining. People have subjective arbitrary tastes in what they like and what they dislike. So then if you find a subject matter that a large group of people like and then conform whatever you're making to that preference, you have an objective standard to try and achieve in succeeding if this group of people will like what you're trying to make. With this in mind, this is how something can be both good and bad according to two different standards that it is being judged against. And I see this most in reviews of entertainment media. Films, TV shows, video games, everything, where heaps of people say something is great and then another huge group of people say it's terrible. What these groups of people are doing are applying different standards in which they are judging the medium against. And according to whatever these standards are, these people are reaching an objective conclusion. According to that standard, it is objectively good, and according to whatever other standard, it is objectively bad. These aren't universally applicable, okay? They're more generalities dependent on a case-by-case basis and then how effectively they're executed. And so if Twilight is good or bad is very much dependent on the standard you're judging it against. If you were to judge it purely against the standards of what is considered good writing, and there are so many different things involved in what is considered good writing, trust me, this is something I've studied for years upon years, and so if Twilight is good or bad, well, I think it actually very much determines on what it is most primarily meant to be. Let's try and bring this train of logic to its natural conclusion. Can something be objectively good? Yes. The way in which you can determine something to be objectively good is according to the standards that you are applying. There are a lot of people that find the new Star Wars movies very, very entertaining, and according to the standard that they are applying, that is objectively true. So now let's try and figure out the inherent standards that are tied to a work and what makes one more valid than another. It is less valid to try and criticize my novel according to its lack of soft magic in it, because it has less soft magic in it, and that wasn't the purpose or intent. So the purpose and intent, or the group of people who are most likely to enjoy a thing, is the most primary standard that should be applied to something to determine if it is objectively good.
Explosion.